What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, AyeItsPJ, and I'm back. You know what I'm saying? I'm back with a special video for y'all today. Hey, man, today we got dumb ways people die. You feel me? Y'all know I don't like to make my intros too long, nah. You know what I'm saying? With that being said, if you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe to the channel for your boy. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what I should react to. And like the video up, you know what I'm saying? Let's get things started, bro. You know what I'm saying? Let's get it.
Advancements of modern society, people still find ways to fall through the safety nets and put themselves in danger. Some people are so dumb, no amount of health and safety regulations can keep them around past their self-inflicted expiry date. So without further ado, let's marvel at the unfortunate souls who selected themselves out of the gene pool, winning a posthumous Darwin Award in the process.
Come on, let's get into it.
Geocaching out. For those with a love for the activity, geocaching is a great way to get outdoors and put their exploration skills to the test.
I never heard
the
of
rules
that.
are simple. Use some form of GPS alongside other navigational techniques to find hidden geotag containers in the great outdoors. Once the container is found, you sign the logbook inside and hide it ready for the next geocacher to find. Sounds enjoyable, but for 4 geocachers in the Czech Republic in 2018, their lack of common sense turned fun into fatalities. According to reports, weather warnings of storms and torrential rains weren't enough to stop this group heading out on their exploration, which wouldn't be so bad had their destination not been this extremely long underground waterway. I wouldn't even go in there in the sunshine. But the group still ventured in, and when the storm pushed a huge wave through the tunnel, the extent of their mistake quickly became apparent. While 2 of the explorers survived being swept down the tunnel, the other 2 weren't so lucky. Carried away into a powerful river, they soon drowned and were later found washed up along the shoreline. Worst of all, they never found the geocache. Going on a treacherous trip like that, they should have known they were taking
that's some white people shit, bro. You would never see a black person doing this dumbass shit right there.
You probably understand that people with infectious diseases are probably best given some space. But a man from the Indian state of Madhya Pradesh chose to reject this approach completely after he started telling people he could heal illnesses like coronavirus by kissing their hands. Unbelievably, superstitious folk began taking him up on the offer by the dozen, with the contact between the healer's lips and countless hands, it wasn't long before, unbeknownst to him, the healer caught coronavirus.
Like, what the fuck is going through your head at the moment? Like, what the fuck is going through your head, my boy? You know what I'm saying? Like, you mean to tell me coronavirus going around and you as well going around kissing motherfuckers' hand while this shit going around? What the fuck is wrong with you, bro? You know what I'm saying? He wanted to die.
With each hand he kissed, he unwittingly began passing the virus on to other people. Ultimately, 19 people were infected after coming into contact with the deluded healer, though they didn't have to wait long for justice to be administered. By the time the 19th person had been diagnosed, the healer had died from the virus. As far as I can tell, no amount of kissing is going to bring him back. And hopefully, nobody tries.
That's tough, my boy.
Sanitized sipping. With all the delicious drinks available in our modern society, this next story will leave you asking, just why? That's because in June 2020, a number of people in...
Looking for the right manufacturer for your parts? Xometry is the right fit. Here's how it works. Step 1. Upload your 3D models.
Santa Fe, New Mexico decided to try drinking hand sanitizer. As a substitute for alcohol. Now,
oh my god, bro. What's up with white people, cuz? But what's up with white people, man? Why the fuck is you drinking hand sanitizer in the first place? Hand sanitizer, nigga? Out of all the fucking drink, out of all the things,
it goes without saying hand sanitizer isn't good for you. But unlike most sanitizers, this particular brand happened to contain methanol, a highly toxic substance. Out of the individuals who were found to have consumed the sanitizer, one was left permanently blinded by methanol poisoning, 3 were in critical condition, and 3 more died almost immediately. So unless you want an agonizingly painful death where your insides feel like they're on fire, opt for a tequila shot, not a sanitizer slammer.
Dumbass.
Eccentric tastes. Ridiculous deaths are nothing new for humans. Indeed, the ability to die in a ridiculous manner seems to go beyond any particular era. This is proven by the story of one man who died on July 14th, 1908 in Goldfield, Nevada. The man, whose name remains unknown, was found dead in the street next to an empty tub of library paste. This was a type of glue-like adhesive used to bind paper and was mostly made of water and flour.
He ate it?
Apparently, being unable or unwilling to acquire an alternative food source, he tucked into the paste, eating most of it.
Oh my
Unfortunately,
God,
though, the batch that this fellow had fished out of a trash can appeared to have turned bad, or possibly even solidified in his body while he ate it. Not that it's advisable to consume library paste in the first place, but this guy's meal choice ultimately cost him his life.
That's
His
tough, my
unusual
boy.
demise is
R.I.P.
commemorated in a gravestone referred to by Goldfield's locals as the
I see
Pasty's
you in
Grave.
paradise.
While truthfully, the guy
Or
was
hell,
probably
nigga,
just
I don't
super
know.
hungry, it doesn't change the fact that this is one seriously embarrassing way to be memorialized. Needing to vent. When the staff at 17th Street Market in Delhi in Knoxville, Tennessee opened up shop one morning in June 2019, they expected a day like any other. However, when they turned the in-store stove on, ready for the day's hot food, they never expected the screaming that began coming from inside the building's ventilation duct. When police arrived soon after, they were able to figure out who the source of the screams were. It turned out a heavily intoxicated man had climbed onto the store's roof the night before and attempted to climb down the vent and into the store. But horrifyingly, the vent proved to be too small to fit through, and he became thoroughly wedged. When the morning crew came into work and started the cooker, the heat transferred up the vent, making the metal walls incredibly hot.
Boy got cooked.
By the time the police pulled him out, he was already badly burnt and unconscious, and he expired in the hospital a few days later. Whatever's waiting for him on the other side,
that's tough,
it
bro.
can't be much worse than the way he went out.
That's a tough way to go, bro.
PARIAH. You don't have to be smart to be a criminal, but it certainly helps if you're planning to stay alive for a while. But smarts were not the strong suit of a man from South Carolina who robbed a Sprint phone shop back in 2009. Moments before the robbery took place, the man spray-painted the entirety of his face in an attempt at a disguise. Naturally, there's a reason robbers tend to favor balaclavas and masks over this unique approach. Neither of those two other options are lethal to breathe in. And while the burglary itself went off without a hitch, the spray-painted robber began having trouble breathing once it was over. Before long, he was dead, having been choked out by the noxious paint fumes. You'd think it'd be obvious, but if you're getting your robbery fashion tips from this guy, you're asking for trouble. Final trick. If you ever find yourself inclined to make the claim that you're immortal, you should think twice before attempting to prove it. If you don't, you might end up like one psychic medium from Chiang Mai, Thailand. His downfall came during an attempt to carry out so-called proof that he couldn't be killed by plunging a sword into his chest. Now, it transpired that he'd performed this supposedly supernatural feat a number of times before and had made it out alive. But that was only because he was actually a big phony and used swords that were designed to break on impact, making it appear like his skin couldn't be pierced. But when he tried the trick again in April 2017, the weapon failed to break and instead penetrated straight into his chest. Unsurprisingly, the human body doesn't tend to appreciate that sort of thing, and he died shortly after in the hospital, making both his fakery and stupidity public all at once. But at least he didn't have to face the embarrassment, I guess.
Kill himself.
Fashion no-no. Now, it should obviously be commonly accepted that women can wear whatever makes them feel good. But for one Taiwanese woman in 2019,
I don't know what you're showing me, but I like it.
Outfit would undoubtedly have led to a different outcome than the one she met. Known online as the Bikini Hiker, the 36-year-old made a name for herself hiking mountains around Taiwan wearing only bikinis. While their outfits may have been great for the beach, they don't offer the protection of standard climbing clothes, something the bikini hiker learned the hard way on several occasions. But the grazes to her legs she sustained after a tumble in 2018 were nothing compared to the fall she took in January the next year. Hiking alone in Yushan National Park in the snowy coldness of winter, she fell down a ravine and was unable to climb out. She called for help on her satellite phone, but poor weather caused delays in the rescue, and by the time help arrived, she was frozen to death.
She was frozen.
If you want to get online attention, try to avoid something with the high risk of becoming a human ice cube.
She was frozen.
Ice cube, of course.
Ice cube, baby girl.
No stealing. When some people leave this mortal coil, they leave behind a mystery
what the
so
fuck is
bizarre,
wrong with people, man?
It does seem stranger than fiction. Like when a resident of Calhoun County, Alabama, spotted a skull in their front yard in 2019. Initially, it was unclear where it had come from, until a burnt to a crisp headless body was found at the bottom of a utility pole, badly decomposed,
what happened to
a
that boy's
fifth of a
head?
mile away. Though initially baffled, the police soon put the puzzle pieces together, revealing the utterly crazy truth. The man had been attempting to illegally wire up his home to the street's electricity to get it for free.
Oh.
Unfortunately, though, he didn't seem to have the first clue what he was doing, nor did he understand how dangerous playing around with power lines was. At some point during the attempt, the man made contact with the live wire, shocking himself to death. And how did his head end up so far down the road? Here's the weirdest part of all. The neighbor who discovered the skull claimed his dog has dragged it there, apparently having torn it from the electricity-fried body.
Damn,
Pretty
boy, that nigga
shocking,
head came
right?
off.
Pain for fame. In the world of online entertainment, it takes a lot of work to make great content and get it seen by as many people as possible. Trust me, I know. And sometimes you have to take risks to reap the rewards. But one Spanish YouTuber tried to reach too high too soon by taking a risk that most definitely didn't pay off. Breaking into a cement factory in the dead of night with a friend, the YouTuber hoped to kick up his numbers from the 6 subscribers he had with an extreme stunt. While wearing a parachute, he climbed to the top of a 165-foot tower, and when the moment was right, he jumped. But disaster struck as he realized his parachute wasn't opening. With nothing he could do, his friend watched on in horror as the reckless attempt at online recognition ended with a loud thud.
Digital marketer, flooded by an ocean of advertising channels? It's time to try
check your
Taboola
page
native
before you
ads.
jump.
You've tried social.
Should have checked that shit first.
Ouch. The YouTuber didn't survive, so obviously that's not a good way to get subscribers. But if you're interested in learning more about how to avoid a humiliating demise, subscribing to Be Amazed is the best way to do it. With daily content and regular updates to the Darwin Awards series you're currently watching, I guarantee you won't regret it. Sting operation. In life, some of the things we assume are universally understood to be bad ideas are occasionally seen as great ideas by the dimmer folk among us. Like how if I were to ask you to swallow a mouthful of wasp spray, you'd probably think I'd lost my mind. But in 2019, Boone County, West Virginia saw the rise of an alarming trend. People had begun using wasp spray as an intoxicant, and it turned out to be about as safe as you'd expect. While some reports emerged of milder symptoms after use, including extreme swelling and redness of the hands and feet, as well as erratic behavior, other cases were more serious. 3 people died after the harmful spray triggered allergic reactions following repeated usages, proving to whoever was too dumb to see it before. You don't inhale wasp spray. Shouldn't that be obvious? Go-kart departure. When you think of motor racing accidents, you probably picture high-speed sports cars flipping over. But as this next story proves, not all demises on the track are so morbidly mesmerizing to behold. One night in August 2019 at the Showtime Speedway in Florida, 2 people snuck in and started racing around the track in go-karts. But while zooming along, one of the rookie racers failed to spot a guardrail across the lane he was driving in, and he crashed into it at full speed. Wearing no helmet and with no safety harness on his go-kart, he took the full force of the impact and was later declared dead in the hospital. As far as badass ways to die go, death by go-kart has to be last place over the finish line.
That's tough.
Taking a tumble. Sometimes generally smart people make incredibly stupid decisions. And in the case of one Philadelphia medical student, one awful decision came at an extremely high price. For reasons unknown, the student had decided it'd be a good idea to jump between the rooftops around his apartment in the northern side of the city. But after several successful jumps, his luck ran out. On his final leap, he came up short and fell 2 stories to the ground below. Though the fall might have seemed survivable from afar, he hit his head on the way down, which proved fatal almost immediately. The unfortunate incident provides an important lesson. It doesn't always take plummeting from 160 feet for a fall to be fatal, and making the foolish decision to mess around at even a slight elevation can prove fatal. You'd think a medical student would know this, but perhaps he hadn't reached the jumping across rooftops part of the course yet.
That's tough, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's really tough, my boy. That's tough. That's it for me, though, because I'm not about to react to this whole video, you feel me? This shit's too long, 20 minutes long. That's too long for me, you feel me? It's too long for your boy PJ. But, yeah, if you did enjoy this video, man, you know what I'm saying? You all know what to do, bro. Subscribe to the channel. Like the video up, leave a comment down below. Let me know what I should react to. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what it is, but I'm out of here.